Could I invite Colleen? Colleen, are you on standby?
Okay, so I should probably say from the beginning that I'm a Guyanese who is on the fringes. My writing is not essentially directly about Guyana, but I do take Guyana with me everywhere that I go. And I write genre fiction, which is sci-fi, fantasy, and horror. And my first work was a novel called Origin, and this was taken on by John Hunt Publishing and was published mainstream in 2014. And this would be a copy of it. Unfortunately, I have no excess copies, so you would not see it in the room next door. My works tend to be a lot of internalizing and exploratory, or even what you would call weird or speculative fiction. And I'm considered to be a unique standing point when it comes to writing in this genre, because I'm the only Guyanese indeed that writes in speculative and weird fiction, for women, or along those lines. My recent publication that I've done, which is this one, called Dreams from the Witch House, is about women who are writing in the field for Lovecraftian fiction. I don't know how many people would be familiar with H.P. Lovecraft. Mr. Lovecraft was a pioneer in sci-fi, horror, and fantasy in terms of weird fiction. However, he has the undesirable effect of being exceedingly racist and anti-Semitic. However, I cannot deny that he has done a great deal for that particular genre, and this book is really a source that came about because initially there was a challenge laid down that women do not write Lovecraftian fiction and therefore are no good at writing science fiction, fantasy, or horror. And this lady who edited the book is called Lynn Yamek, and she's from South Africa and lives in New Zealand. And she got together with a bunch of women and said, let's prove them wrong. And we have. So Dark Regions Press has published this in April of this year, outlining that actually women do write science fiction, fantasy, and horror in the Lovecraftian style. And Mr. Lovecraft is probably rolling in his grave, but we don't really mind. So this is me, and that is what I do. And even though I am not strictly writing on Guyana, I'm still a Guyanese and putting my bit out there for us. Thank you.
Next on the list is Khalid.
These are my books. I mean, talk about being put on the spot. I wasn't expecting this at all. But my two books, which have been published by Hansen Publications, are next door. And they're available on Amazon and anywhere in the world. Any bookshop you could go to and you could ask for them. And when you go on those sites, make sure you buy the cheapest available version, because I'm not entirely there to make money or anything like that. I have had a long life in this country. I came from a small village in Guyana called Anacathrina on the west coast, next door to another village called Leonora. You might remember Leonora, or Konini Ada. I was actually born in Leonora. I grew up in Anacathrina, and I played some cricket for Cornelia Ida. So I did play a little bit of under-19 cricket before I left Guyana to come to England to study. And I did finance and accounting, which I hated from day one. I never wanted to stay in this country at all. In fact, decided that really, as soon as this trauma is concluded, I would jump on the next available plane and get the hell back home, because I hated this country so much. Why are the houses all joined up? And this kind of thing, you know, and they all had the same kind of roof, red or any other color. And essentially, a place where nobody spoke to you like the way we speak as Guyanese. Hi, what's up, man? How are you doing? It's a long time I didn't see you. And this kind of thing. Doesn't happen here. So, when I've done my career, I was told as a youngster in Guyana, when I was head boy in my school in Georgetown, I did meet the great and wonderful hero of mine, Edgar Brightwaite, and he said to me, boy, if you want to write, go and get a career, make a living, and then write. So I waited, and exactly 50 years afterwards, I decided to research a little bit about my ancestry. And my foreparents came from Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, like Peter Raker said earlier on. And there was a chap called Hussein Ali, whose certificate the family found. And he was 18 years old when he was picked up by this agent in India, and then brought to Guyana, or British Guyana. And basically, on his certificate, I was really impressed by the fact that it had agriculturist. Well, everybody knew he was a damn king cutter. But how the hell he managed to get that on the list was very fascinating. So I thought, well, if this fellow is described officially as an agriculturist, then he must be very important. And therefore, he is important for me and my family. So I continued to do the history research. Then my daughter, who is a barrister and was doing her master's and interested in human rights and that kind of thing. I don't know how she's going to make money as a lawyer, but she encouraged me to go to Guyana in 2011 because she said, Dad, if you're doing research, you better go back to your village and find out a bit more. So I made sure I went to Leonora, and to my great disappointment, unfortunately, the Leonora estate factory was not in existence anymore. So I went on to the next village in Eifel just to smell cane when it's been burnt. Because it's important, if you're writing, to actually live, breathe, or as Arif says to me, live what you've written. You guys keep quiet about it. Yes, so basically...
And you all keep your voice down there, or go outside.
So anyway, I'm making this up as I go along, obviously, but basically, when I started to look at Guyana again in 2011, I realized that as an individual, I've read good books written about this history, and I said, you know, there is much more to write than the history, and I created the story of many of the people who came to Guyana when the indentured labor exercise recommenced in 1845. And that's where I placed my own ancestor, Hussein Ali, as a new character, Mustafa Ali. And he was also 18. So I created a story about that. And I'm happy to say that it was published to commemorate or in line with the commemoration of the 175th anniversary of the arrival of Indians in British Guyana. And I followed that up with the Domino Masters of Demerara. When I grew up in my village, we played dominoes. Whenever it rained and we couldn't play cricket, dominoes. And we took this very seriously because we had domino teams. And it's almost a very violent pursuit, by the way. Because when you play dominoes, you do slam the cards down hard. And that's why you couldn't play with wooden ones, they would break up. They're very sophisticated ivory ones now. The King and Government will be angry with me about that one, but clearly, what I did do was that I found that I was living in this village, Anna Katrina, where all the races were together. Whether we were African, Guyanese, Indian, Portuguese, Chinese, and one Amerindian living in my village. How the hell did we live together like that? What was it that really made us tick? The British didn't come and say, here is a manual, get on with it. You know, multiculturalism and whatever. They didn't do that. We found a way to understand each other and to actually live with each other, which is apparently a challenge nowadays, even in this country. So I said, well, this is a story that needs to be told. And I wrote, on the backdrop of an important domino game, the final game, in 1985, the Domino Masters of Demerara. Believe me, every one of us who played dominoes, we were Einstein. We knew every single ticket. Even if it's covered on the table, we know. We could read the game, right? So we were much more clever than we thought we were. So I created the characters who played in this game. And it's very sinister, or it's jovial, it's funny, and you can appreciate this. One other thing I've done is to write in a language which is unpretentious and very simple, very easy to read. A 10-year-old could read my books and ask sensible questions. And that's been happening in this country. I've been lucky to be invited to talk in Madeira Island, which is lovely by the way, South Africa, India twice, and New York. And I actually speak around London quite a lot to not Guyanese necessarily, but anybody who's got a history of leaving their homeland to go somewhere else to seek betterment. And that's what this is about. And I wish to thank you, and that's all I did. I just made it up.
What's the name of the first?
And the first one is called Sugar Sweet Allure. Very poignant title, I should say, and the artwork. Somebody asked me a question, how did you come up with this artwork? It was Cash's ideas. And I had to answer the question, you know, you make up these things as you go. The blue sky is the beautiful blue sky you'll find in Guyana. The kind of pinkish horizon is the sun setting without heat. The green is the greenery in Guyana. The brown is the fertile soil. I've made that up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kelly. We'll move on straight into Derek Thomas.
My name is Derek Bobbington Theophilus Fitzgerald Benjamin. At the end of this meeting, I'll ask you to remember the last two names. Well, welcome folks to the embassy, and it's nice to be here. I was born in Linden, which is Mackenzie, which is now called Linden. And I came to England in 1957 with my hands behind my back, because my mother said you must go to England to get a better education. I've just finished my technical institute as a motor mechanic. Actually, I joined those who remember Roots Group in Georgetown, Prostons. Well, I did my apprenticeship with them. So when I came to England, I went straight to the branch here in Labrador Grove to start my apprenticeship there. I didn't want to come to England. I just finished my apprenticeship, I got more money, I started to see the girls, and that was all I wanted. But I know those who lived in Guyana in the early 50s knew when the politicians have their meetings at the side of the road on the soapbox. So anybody remember that? There hadn't any conference hall. It's all the side of the street and the soapbox. And one day I was there chatting this young lady up, and Forbes Burnham, late Prime Minister, President, said something, and I thought, I would like to deliver a speech like that. That's great. So I forgot the girl, and I paid much more attention. And that remained with me all the years until 1998, when I was due to retire to become a Toastmaster. And in England here, there are only 2 black Toastmasters in England, and I'm one of them. I'm very privileged to have worked many parts of the world. I started life as a motor engineer. I was called into national service in 1959. I was the last of the national servicemen. I became aircraft engineer. I went in as a motor mechanic. I then worked my way up to become an aircraft engineer, electrical electronics engineer. And from there, I became a flight simulator specialist, working with pilots, pilot training. After leaving the Air Force in 1971, I was recruited to go to Holland at Schiphol Airport on 747s. I became a flight simulator specialist there. They bought the flight simulator from an American company, and when the simulator was delivered, the company went bankrupt. And they had, this flight simulator had 480 faults in it. And I was recruited to do something. And there I arrived and saw this big white elephant standing there. I thought, Derek, I don't know anything about this, you know. But I thought, my aircraft training says to me, start from basic. And within 3 months, I brought that down to about 150 faults. My contract was to be for 3 months. They kept me on for 18 months, and I turned around, did all the faults, and I trained their engineer to take over. I then was recruited to EMI Medical. All you people here know what the CT scan is? Well, I was in the development of the CT scanners here in England in 1972-73. I worked for EMI Medical. And my job was to install CT scanners around the world. So I've lived in Africa, Nigeria, Turkey, Iran, Iraq, Pakistan, Dubai, Sweden, Germany, Spain, France. So I have traveled quite a lot. And I was therefore very fortunate to be a torchbearer in the Olympics, in the 2012 Olympics in my area where I live in Ipswich. And that is when I decided to put that information that I had into a book. Because I know in England here, from the 50s to now, how the manners has deteriorated in this country amongst youngsters, against their parents. There's no respect. And I thought, I'll write something about this. And this book is based on education, manners, respect. Because my mother was a teacher. And if I enter the house without wiping my feet, taking my cap off, a pair of slipper, or a book, or whatever comes hitting you. So we had to do that. This book is based on 58 years of my life in England. You may not believe I'm 80 in a couple of months' time. Thank you very much, sir. Your Christmas pack is coming soon. And I believe in health and health, exercise, and that's one of the reasons also I wrote this book, to tell people about how exercise is so important. I'll give you a simple example. When I was 13 years of age, 6 of us formed a gym in Mackenzie. We hadn't the proper weights, so we went to the railway yard and collect all the old train wheels. Also the piece of pipe, and we had to have one person standing at both sides, so when you do that, it goes like that. But one of my friend's brother decided that seeing that we were making the great effort, he was a welder, so he cut some proper plates and made some proper weights for us. And one of my colleagues, we used to call him Mosquito Physique. And the reason for that, when he takes his shirt off, he will count his ribs, and it was bow-legged. So you could imagine this young man. But in 4 years, he won Mr. Guyana. Within 4 years. This when I realized the power of exercise. And up to now, I use the gym 4 times a week. I do Zumba, I do body pump. I do body pump, I do Zumba, I do karate, I do all sorts of things. This is very important, and I want to say to people here, the exercise can prevent you taking a lot of pills. I don't take anything. I have my smoothies in the morning and my other things. Right? But that's important. My book is now on Amazon, and you have it on Kindle. I have a few copies left. As a Toastmaster, I had a 2 weeks training in a place called Ashton-on-the-Lyne near Manchester. But before I became a Toastmaster, my first public speaking was in Jordan, Amman, Jordan, in the Middle East. I used to attend the British Embassy Club in Jordan. every Wednesday night, we used to have Scottish country dancing. And because I love dancing, I attended this class. And in 1985, December, the Klansman said to me, he says, Derek, you've been attending our dances and we have a special thing for you. In January 86, there is the Burns Night Supper. Oh yes, I heard of that, that's great. He says, but we want you to say a speech to the lassies. I said, are you Jew? I'm not a Scotsman. He said, but you've been attending our dances, therefore you need to come. He then turned around and dropped the bombshell, you have to wear kilts. Oh, well, that was a joke for me. So I said, I haven't got legs for kilts. He said, don't worry that, we'll cover it up. So I came back in Christmas in '85. I said to my wife then, we're going to Edinburgh for Christmas and Boxing Day. She said, I'm not going to that cold place. At Christmas, I said, well, look, this is important. I have this job to do in Amman. Anyway, I convinced her, so we went over to Princess Street in Edinburgh, and I went into this tartan shop, and I said to the young ladies, I said, my name is Derek Thomas, I have a job to do in Amman for the Burns Night Supper, and I need kilts. So they collapsed laughing behind the counter. So when they pulled themselves together, said, Mr. Thomas, sorry about that, but we never had a black person asking for kilts. They eventually got to the telephone and called the manager, and within 10 minutes, this gentleman drove up to the shop in his white Rolls Royce, into the shop, grabbing my, it's pleased to meet you, Mr. Thomas. I said, I feel very important here, you know. I said, yes. He said, what do you, I said, I have Burns Night Supper in Amman, Jordan. So he says, Thomas, he says, Thomas, there's a Thomas clan. I said, there's a Thomas clan? He said, yes. So he got this ledger with all the tartans. He said, but Mr. Thomas, he says, we haven't got the Thomas tartan in stock. But the Thomas clan is married into the Douglas clan. Therefore, you're quite permitted to wear the Douglas tartan. So the gentleman got all the things together, my sporran, my doodle, and all the jackets and everything together. And I look at this amount of clothing here and I says, so he saw the expression on my face. He says, you have 450 pounds worth of stuff here. Remember folks, this is 1986. 450 pounds is a lot of money. So he said, for you Mr. Thomas, just 200 pounds. I said, and he gave me a crystal bell with Burns' poem written around this bell. Absolutely brilliant. So there is me. I returned to Amman, Jordan, looking forward to this great event at the Amra Hotel. And at this event was all the dignitaries you can find in Jordan. Queen Hussein of Jordan, his nephew with his wife, all the ambassadors, all the generals in the army, navy, all were there. And there was me, the only black person, it's 400 people in this assembly. I thought, I have to give a speech here. So my speech followed the American ambassador. And my dear friends, I got up to the lectern, and then I raised my eyes like that. These 400 pairs of eyes hit me, and I started to tremble. My knee went like that. I felt water coming down my tartan. I thought, these people think I weaned myself. But I hung in there, I held on to the lectern, and I delivered my address to the lassies of the evening. And that was the first time I've had to do public speaking that I could send. It went on quite well because everybody clapped and congratulated me. So I've put all of that in this book, ladies and gentlemen, some pictures. I wouldn't read any part of it because I'm on Amazon and on Kindle. I don't want to waste any more time, but you can read lots of things about it. I have a few copies out there. They're only £7. And I'm in the process of writing my second book because, as I said, I just found out that we only 2 black Toastmasters in England of 64 million people. And I thought I'll write something about that. And my next book would be about that. I won't give you the name of the title yet, but I hope that you'll see it somewhere before. So it's on Amazon, it's on Kindle, it's in the W.H. Smith. You can order it through W.H. Smith, and it's called hold on to your dreams. And this show that what you can achieve, things that you can achieve if you really put your mind to it, set goals, and to be believed. Whatever your mind can conceive, you can achieve. Believe me. It has been quite a journey, and carrying the holding torch really put the icing on the cake. Because when I stepped out of the coach, and with this torch in my hands, I saw all these people standing there waving me. I thought, you have arrived. You have arrived.